Hey everybody, Eric here again, and in this video I'm going to tell you why I like the Fuzzrocious Feed Me EQ pedal. The Feed Me lets you shape your tone with 4 rotary switches, a tone knob, and a volume knob. The switches on the left control a high-pass filter, while the switches on the right control a low-pass filter. The top 2 control resistance, while the bottom 2 control capacitance. This means that the top switches control the amount of cut, while the bottom switches control the frequency location of that cut. The tone knob acts like you would expect. When you turn it to the left, you get more bass. When you turn it to the right, you get more treble. You can use the volume knob to compensate for any signal loss, or you can use it as a boost. The Feed Me is a really powerful pedal, and it can be used in a ton of different ways. So I wanted to share with you some of my uses for the Feed Me. So the most straightforward way to use the Feed Me is to plug it in between your instrument and the amp. A situation when I would want to use the Feed Me this way would be when I'm playing a humbucker guitar, and it's either too muddy, or I want to maybe emulate a single coil sound. There are some cases when you'd want to use the Feed Me in a specific way to get a desired result. I have this MXR Wylde Overdrive, and it's a really cool sounding pedal, but sometimes it can be too heavy on the mid-range. What I can do is put the Feed Me after the Wylde Overdrive to reduce the mid-range of the pedal instead of the mid-range of my guitar. Another cool thing to note is that when you put the Feed Me at the end of your signal chain, you're really doubling the amount of sounds that you can create. So another use that I thought of for the Feed Me was with loopers. By placing the Feed Me in front of the looper pedal, it allows you to get different textures without having to change guitars. The last thing I want to touch on is using the Feed Me as a preamp or boost. I'm plugged into the Fuzzrocious blast furnace, which is a gated fuzz. The pickups in my guitar are lower output, so I really have to dig into the strings to make sure my signal doesn't cut out while I'm playing. To solve this issue, I'll place the Feed Me before the fuzz, and then I'll crank the volume knob so I get a louder signal going into the fuzz. This way, I don't have to dig into every note and I can play softer and not have to worry about my signal cutting out. I'm going to put a link in the description below to the Fuzzrocious website. There you can find out more information about the Feed Me, a preset library, and even more videos. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric, and this has been the Fuzzrocious Feed Me EQ pedal.